All right. I am going to give this over to Linda. It is her time and it's her time to shine. Show us what you got, Linda.
Hi, everyone. I'm Linda Wilson, and I'm a resil- resiliency expert and life navigator. And over my 60 years of life, I've had many peaks and valleys, ups and downs. And during that time, I put together, started making a list of the things that I did to help me get through all of that. And one of those things that I want to give to you today is my 9 tools for navigating life's peaks and valleys. And they're not in any specific order, and you don't use all of them for every situation, but they are here. I'll give them to you here, and then at the end, I can give you a link where you can go in and download the talk and the workbook so that you have them. So that's my gift to you today. So, in the science of getting rich, Wallace D. Wattles tells us about the law of polarity. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And for every up, there's a down. For every in, there's an out. For every peak, there's a valley. And if the peak's a mile high, the valley's a mile deep. That's just the way it works. Life doesn't end at a destination, it's the journey along the way. And whether it's work or family, daily life has its ups and downs, peaks and valleys. And there are some tools that I use to navigate through all of those. And I want to share those today. So, like everyone else, I've had my share of life's challenges. In the last 10 years alone, I've had 3 open heart surgeries. I've had gone into deep depression, and I lost my brother, my husband, and my dad in a 4-year period, as well as my sister in law and my father in law. And people kept remarking how well they thought I handled everything. Um, I didn't feel like I was handling it very well. It was just, you do what you have to do. So I finally sat down and I made a list of the things that I was using, the tools that I was using to get through the good and the bad times. And I'm going to share those with you today. And again, they're not in any particular order and you don't use them all, but they're goodies. I like them. So the first one is to observe. You take a step back and just observe what's going on. The This allows you to catch your breath and to see the event more clearly. So it allows you to kind of step back a little bit. The next one is to assess. And you size up the situation so you can better understand the event and so that you can tackle it clearly instead of reacting, you're responding. Number 3 is I separate. I pull the event out from everything else that's going on and just take that one part of the event to see what it is, and I can get rid of all the other fluff so that I'm focusing on the main thing that's triggering me. And then I act. I can decide how I'm gonna respond instead of that knee-jerk gut reaction that a lot of us like to have, me included. And I've been doing this work for a long time, but I tell you, it's still when something hits that trigger, you just want to jump out and react, and you need to kind of take a deep breath and respond. Um, and I persist. I choose to keep going through whatever it is that's popping up, and that's done me very well for the last 12 years. So from that first open heart surgery where everything changed, I just had to persist through. I mean, you can give up, but then what do you get? So it's not easy. You can't do it alone, but persisting is a big part of it. And then I acknowledge. I actually step back and acknowledge whatever feeling I'm having. And I do this for good things and for not so good things. So if I'm having a great day, I have a great maybe I get a big sale. I step back and I acknowledge it and I say, yeah, because I need to confirm that I've earned that. And if I'm having something a not so good day today, um, I need to acknowledge that as well. I need to honor the feelings that I'm feeling so that I can better respond to those feelings and celebrate. You got to celebrate the wins and the losses because the losses aren't really losses, they're lessons learned. And if you don't celebrate the wins, you won't keep getting them. So you have to remember to take time to stop and celebrate those. That's extremely important because the universe likes to send us what we're acknowledging and what we're feeling and what we're believing. And if we get that win and we just go, oh, that wasn't such a big thing, we're not going to get it again and we're not going to get anything more. So we need to be open to receiving those wins and celebrating them. And here's a biggie for me, be patient. Oh my. I am not a patient body, although I've had to teach myself to be patient. Um, Things will happen when it's time for them to happen. That may not be my time. For me, I'm a person of faith, so it's God's time, but it could be the universe's time. It could be, it comes when it's ready and when you're ready for it to come. So we do need to be patient and we need to be open to receiving that which we're asking for. And another big one for me is to forgive. And it's not just to forgive someone I feel might have done me wrong. I need to forgive myself because there's a lot of times that I put the walls up and I get angry with myself or I feel I've done something wrong or something stupid and I don't let it go. And I nitpick at it and I just keep digging at it. And again, the universe, it's part of the universal laws. Like energy responds to like. And if I'm putting out an energy that I'm not forgiving and that I have to be perfect and that I'm dumb if I do the least little thing wrong, that's what I'm going to get back. That's not what I want. But when you think about it, when you hear people talking, oh, yeah, oh gosh, it's another week and I don't have money for rent or I don't have money for gas or everything costs so much. Well, if you're sitting at home going, everything costs so much, the universe says, okay, I can make that happen. And so when gas was pushing $5 a gallon and everybody was in a panic, I sat back and I said, okay, it's expensive, but I try only to drive when I need to anyway because I'm happy being working from my home office. I don't need to go out and about too much. I like to travel though. But so those are the 9 tools. And in the workbook that I give you, um, there's a place where you can go in and follow along with some exercises where I kind of walk you through how you might use each of these things. I have you think of an instance or an incident or an event where one of these tools could have been helpful or all of them, and you write them down and you kind of figure out how you're working with those. But like I said, I'm 60 and I've been using these for a good 40 years um, because I just had to. Things started going kind of wonky early on, and just had to learn how to deal with them. And these things have helped me quite a bit. So I will make sure that we put the link out there for you to get the workbook. And I think I'm pretty good for questions.
You still have some time. Why don't you talk about your retreat?
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Um, in February of next year, I am hosting a women's retreat. It's a self care retreat, and it's going to be on a cruise to the Bahamas. So, what better way to look after yourself, ladies? You can come take the retreat with me. I've got a breathwork expert coming in who will give you she's going to do breathwork techniques with us every evening to help us kind of calm and, be ready for bed and ready for sleep to get a good night's sleep. And I also have an expert who is coming in to talk to us about self-image and things we can do to help change our self-image within ourselves. And I'm also going to be giving presentations on completeness and the power of your I am. That's one of my favorites. Those are the two most powerful words in the English language because whatever comes after them is a directive. That's how your subconscious mind hears it. So you have to be careful when you say I am. What follows better be good because that's what you're asking for. And I'm also going to do a session on serenity by Thomas Troward, which is one of my favorite works, and it's beautifully written. And I just find the work itself very serene. So the idea with the cruise is the ladies come in, and for it's February 24th through the 27th. And that first night, we'll get together after dinner. Karen will do some breath work with us, and Sandy will give us an exercise for self image. She's going to give us some information for us to take away. And then on the next 2 days, for 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening, we will meet to go over the work that we've designed. The rest of the day, you can go to port when we're in Nassau or on the private island in the Bahamas. You can stay on the ship. You can do whatever you want. If you want to bring family along, we have 15 cabins, so you can get a cabin for you and your family. You just step away during the retreat, and they can go play, and then you can have family time with them. So it's a way to kind of get both. But when you're on a cruise, I mean, there's massages, there's all sorts of wonderful things you can do to give yourself some self care and just unwind and look after yourself. And so that's what this retreat is all about. And if you go to my website, lindamariewilson.com, up in the navigation bar, it says Women's Retreat 2023. If you click in there, it is kind of bulky. There's two separate payments. You have to pay me for the retreat, and you have to pay the cruise line for the cruise. But my spectacular travel agent, her information's on there, and you book the cruise part through her, and she'll take care of you for you. So that's what I've got planned, and I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be so relaxing. I'm so excited.
I am super excited for you.
Thank
All
you.
right, so we are going to open the floor to questions. So just unmute yourself and raise your hand, or just speak up if you have any questions. I will go ahead and start. Out of the tools, which one do you find is the one that you have to help people with the most? Like, it's the most that they resist. Which tool is it that we tend to resist the most?
Forgiving ourselves, or forgiveness, period. People really seem to have a hard time with that. I know that. That's a big one for me. Um, as women, we're kind of raised, or at least I was in my age group, to put other people first, and to um, to be perfect, which God knows I'm not. I never have been. I never will be. I am the perfect me I can be in any given moment. But there's lots of people have a lot of problems with forgiveness, and a lot of times it's wrapped into guilt. Those two go together a lot. And when you're feeling guilty, it's really hard to forgive. Or if you think someone else is guilty, it's hard to forgive them. So those two things are wrapped around each other quite a bit.
If anybody has a question but isn't able to speak, you can always type it into the chat and I will read it as well. Sophia, you're off mute. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I would like to know a little bit about the retreat. Where's the port going off from? So is it
At least from Fort Lauderdale, and we leave
okay?
the evening of the 24th. So and we come back in the morning of the 27th, and so we'll be in the Bahamas for those 2 days. The first day at Nassau, and then the second day at, I think it's Cape Coco or Coco Eye. It's Royal Caribbean's private island. So there's all sorts of fun and things to do, and so this doesn't have to be spent as a whole time in heavy retreat. Definitely use it that way if that's how you wish it to be. Um, Actually, one of the people coming she's paying double for the room so she can have the room to herself so she can spend that time in reflection. She says, I don't care if I get off the boat. She says, I just want the retreat part. So it's there to be a family event for enjoyment and for self care for you. And I'm looking forward to it. I love cruises. They're so fun.
Sounds wonderful.
Thank you. Anybody else? Questions about anything?
You said that you are going to talk about your I am statement, and you filled that in pretty well when you talked about it. What is your I am statement?
Oh my! Actually have I have an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper full of I am statements, 3 columns long. I every time something pops up, I add it. I would say the biggest one for me, the one that was the hardest for me at first, was I am worthy, and that was always a big one for me. But I have, I'll bet there's like 120 of them right now. And so when I say them in the morning, it takes me quite a bit of time. And when I say them in the mirror, eye to eye, so that I am imprinting the I am statement on me and I say them out loud. And if you can do it twice a day, that's great. Do it first thing in the morning and when you go to bed at night, just cement the I amness. And they don't have to be things that you are right now. It's a way of manifesting. So if your goal is to be, you know, like a young pregnant mom wants to be the best mom she can be, she can say, I am an excellent mother. She can start that right at the beginning and talk her subconscious mind into understanding that that's real, because our subconscious can't decide what's real and what's not real. It takes whatever it's given. And so that's why I am is so powerful. But if you're saying things like, I'm broke, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, your subconscious mind thinks that's a directive and it says, okay, I can help you with that. And if you say, I am beautiful, I am smart, I am valued, I am worthy, your subconscious says, okay, I can bring that to you too. So we just really have to be very present and very conscious about our self-talk. Because, the old saying, if you talk to your friends the way you talk to yourself, you probably wouldn't have very many friends. We want to fix that. We want to take care of that if we can.
Does anybody have
Awesome.
any other questions for Linda?
Yes. Well, I noticed you're saying like you look at in the mirror and you're like, I am. So am I doing it wrong if I say you are when I look at myself in the mirror?
I am is more powerful.
Okay.
So when you're talking to yourself, talk to yourself in the first person. I am. That's where the real power is. You're owning it.